as long as I can remember, reading has been my passion, and I've always loved getting lost in stories. In fact, in my childhood home where I grew up, we had a tiny little room, really more like a closet, underneath the stairs that we used for storage, but I convinced my parents to let me turn it into my personal little library room. I put bookshelves and pillows and blankets down there and filled it up with all of my favorite series, and I would just lock myself in there and spend hours reading. I can't tell you I always knew I was going to become a book editor, but now looking back, it makes a lot of sense. Today, I wanted to do a more personal video where I share my journey to becoming a book editor and talk about why I just freaking love this job so much. I know that most of my videos have an educational slant to them where I'm giving tips about writing or publishing, but I really just wanted to do a different type of video today. So how did I go from this bookish, kind of nerdy kid sitting under the stairs, reading books all day, to becoming a book editor now? Once I graduated high school, I decided to go to college in New York City. I knew that I wanted to be in the writing, publishing space in some capacity, and I thought New York was where that would happen. And I visited the city a couple of times and just fell in love with the energy of it, so I wanted to move there. I didn't know if I wanted to pursue a career in journalism or in magazines or in creative writing. I just knew that I wanted to be around writers and editors. So I majored in English and minored in creative writing, and I really started getting interested in books when I spent a semester abroad in London. My university, which was NYU, had a study abroad internship program, so I was matched with a small independent book publisher, and essentially I was given manuscripts to edit for this publishing house. I read all kinds of genres, and I was doing a mix of developmental editing and copy/line editing for them. When I came back to New York City to continue my degree, I took an elective course, which I looked up the name of the course. It was called The Fundamentals of Editing Fiction and Creative Nonfiction. And this course really changed my life and my whole career path. It was taught by an executive editor at Macmillan. So after signing off from her full-time job, she would teach this intensive night course in manuscript editing. And when I met her, I just immediately decided that I wanted to be her when I grew up. She became my first mentor in the publishing industry. So after taking this course and meeting my mentor, I decided I wanted to go full force in becoming an editor in the publishing industry. So I interned in the editorial department at Macmillan, and then I went to the other side of the industry and I worked at a literary agency, which I also really enjoyed. And then I got a full-time position as an editorial assistant at Ballantine Books, which is a division of Penguin Random House. When I decided to leave the corporate publishing industry, that's when I started my independent book editing business. And I did a different video talking about the reasons that I left the publishing industry to go freelance, so I will link that in the description if you're interested in that part of my journey. But here we are now, and I sometimes have to pinch myself when I realize that literally what I do day in and day out is what I've always loved doing and what I dreamed of doing when I went to college. So I really just wanted to take this time to reflect on why I think I have the best job in the world as a book editor. The first thing that I love about fiction editing is that it requires creative problem solving. Every manuscript I edit is like a new puzzle that I have to solve. And I really love digging deep into a story with an author, figuring out the pain points, and then helping them treat those pain points and make the story even stronger. I think book editing really marries the creative and the more analytical, technical parts of my mind. I especially love the nature of this work because it enables me to establish amazing relationships and meet amazing people. I keep in touch with many of the authors that I work with, even years down the line after our collaboration, and it is so incredible to watch their careers grow. The writers I get to work with are so interesting and come from all different backgrounds, and they're creative and thoughtful people that I just like to be around and who I like to learn from. That gets to another reason why I think being a book editor is the best job in the world, which is that it allows you to expand your worldview while you're doing the job. I get to read stories about all kinds of people, that take place in all kinds of settings and explore experiences that I might not be personally familiar with. And even when I'm editing fiction, I frequently feel like I'm learning something in the story, or I might get a different perspective on something I thought I already knew about. Reading in general truly broadens your outlook on life, I think, and makes you a more empathetic person. So being able to do this for my job is just such a blessing. I think it goes without saying that book editing as a career path is incredibly rewarding. The first time that a book that I had worked on in an editorial capacity got published and I got to feel the final product and hold it in my hands, I felt a certain type of high that I think I've been chasing ever since. I can't describe how rewarding it is to help an author achieve their dreams and see this story out in the world being shared among readers that you personally love and feel so connected to. Even though I'm obviously not the one who wrote the book, I still feel that connection to it, and it makes me so happy to put that story out in the world for other readers to experience and love. That's all I really wanted to say in this video. I know it might be a little bit sappy or sentimental, but if you're an author watching this, know how much your editors truly value you and love the work that you are doing together. If you're someone who is thinking about pursuing a career in book editing, I hope this gave you some insight into why I love this job so much and I think it's amazing. While I'm doing a more sentimental and reflective video, I do want to say thank you so much to my community on YouTube. Thank you for all of your support throughout the years I've been making videos, as I've been experimenting with different content forms, and just getting to talk about this job that I love so much on this platform. I can't tell you how much it means to me that so many of you are interested in what I have to say. Don't worry, my educational videos aren't going anywhere, but thank you so much for tuning in to this more personal video. And of course, as always, happy writing.